Something. All right. What were you about to
So,
say?
yeah, so basically, like we talked about having the like five things and then one counter thing. I kind of try to always write those down because I don't always find five things, but it helps me in terms of like remembering all the aspects to talk about eventually. So, yeah, so I do always try to take notes. I don't always take notes while I'm watching the film. Sometimes I kind of go back and, but yeah, I took notes of a very few notes.
I
And I
have
write down like the names of all the people because I don't usually know all
yeah.
everyone.
I take like mental notes while I'm watching. Then once it's done, I try to just remember everything and then I'll write it down like, okay, I remember everything. But this one I didn't take any notes. I
Hmm.
don't even think I took any mental notes. I just said let me just wing it and see um what we come up with. So,
Well,
but
you liked
anyway,
it better than the last film because you boycotted that last film so bad you wouldn't even put the backdrop.
oh yeah. I'm not even gonna mention the last one.
Oh shit. That
But
reminds me. I
but
don't actually have a selection for next week. That's the thing I didn't prepare. Oops.
well, remember what I told you to go watch?
I know, but I can't. Like it's not gonna happen not before next Thursday. I'm too busy right now.
Take if you gotta take the kids and the husband with you, you take them with you and watch.
Sure, of course. I'll just traumatize my kids, why don't I?
Yeah, just take them there. Well, they were honestly when I went to go watch it, somebody had a baby there, had kids there. And I'm like, what the hell?
To a premiere I was in, which was crazy because these kids, the parents died in that film. Like they brought their own children to watch them die. I thought that was meant, and it depends. I guess it depends. Some kids are just like really hardy. My kids, you couldn't do that.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, so how are you feeling better now from last week and
I
stuff like
am. Do I
that?
sound okay? How do I sound? What do you think? Do I sound like my normal self or do I sound like
Yeah,
someone else?
sound like your normal self.
It's getting better. Yeah. So they put me on steroids. Actually,
Mm.
they put me on steroids, and so I had to do that for a week. And at the very beginning, it got infinitely worse. Like I was swollen everywhere and it hurt really, really bad to talk. And I just felt awful altogether because like they make you take so much first. Like make you take like six pills and then you kind of go down. And when you taper off of it, you kind of start feeling better. And now I'm almost good. Like I technically have an appointment with a specialist, but I was hoping the steroids would do that I don't have to go to the specialist, so
Oh, okay. That's cool.
we'll see. We'll see.
All right.
I'm feeling fine. I have a lot of vocal stuff to do, so I really need that voice to get fixed. So,
Yeah, okay. All right.
how are
Well,
you? How's your week?
me, everything was good. I'm fine. Nothing much to report.
Nothing to report.
Yeah, just I'm doing good.
No, I want to say it is May 1st.
So when is the birthday now? May 8th?
My birthday's May 8th. Yes, it's our month.
And Trey's actually
May 5th.
May 5th
Hmm.
or 6th.
Yep.
How'd you
Yep.
know?
Oh, I know.
Oh, you know, okay.
I asked him because I saw he's a Taurus too. And then
Eh,
I think Ife on May 7th, like we're all twinsies over
oh, okay.
here.
My mom is May 12th
Oh, there you go. It's
and
all
I'm May
very good
28th.
people. Very good people.
May 28th.
But
Yeah.
yes, no, May always gets like really weird for me. I get very emotional in the beginning of May for some reason. For it's like very spiritual on one part because like I love grounding. I want to be outside, and I kind of like it finally is that time that you can be literally outside all day every day, and that's what we do. But also like just I don't know. I think around my birthday I get a little homesick, and then Mother's Day is also like I almost overlapping.
Mm,
I don't know. It's just it's a weird time for me. But then also I get busier every time during that time. So I don't know.
yeah, it helps out. Anyway, kick us off. Let's go.
All right, hi, and welcome back to another episode of Movie Unboxing with Marty and Bola. We are a writer, director, an actor, and an actress and a writer, and each week we dive into a film to unbox how it was made and what makes it tick, talking about the movie from a filmmaker's perspective.
So this film was my choice from last week, and it's called Wolfman. It came out in the theaters in actually earlier this year, January 17th, 2025.
Hmm.
It stars Christopher Abbott. He's not a very popular actor. I've not seen him in anything. I mean, he's been in stuff, but nothing.
He's supposedly been in Poor Things, which I feel like has had traction, but I haven't seen it.
I've never seen him in anything. I've never heard of anything. I've looked at what he's done. I don't think I've seen anything that he's done.
No, he looks a little generic, not to
Yeah,
like,
and I think that was good that they got him for this.
yeah.
And then it also stars Julia
He
Garner,
looked exactly like his child version, though. That
who
was so well cast. That
oh, you
actor
mean
looked
the actor?
exactly like the
Exactly.
boy. That
Yes, he
was
did.
weird. I was like, is that actually his son or something? That was
Hey, you
crazy.
never know. You never know. It could be. I have to
I
look
didn't
that
look
up.
it up. Check.
Yeah. But it also stars Julia Garner, and then everybody recognizes Julia Garner. That's her right there.
Yes.
She's
From
the most
Ozark.
popular thing that she's done that you might have seen is Ozark on Netflix.
Yes.
So it was written and directed by um, Leigh Whannell. He's known for Saw. I think he wrote and directed the first Saw in 2004.
Oh, I
Yeah,
missed
he
that.
um he wrote and directed the modern another modern telling of The Invisible Man from 2020. He wrote and directed the first Insidious, and he wrote and directed the second, no, the third Insidious. I think that's they call that on chapter three. He's actually an Australian filmmaker. Uh,
Oh, okay. I
yeah,
saw that he was starring in things.
you the director. He's
Yeah, I
oh
thought I saw that he was actually not starring, acting. I don't know if it was.
yeah yeah. Well, you never know. A lot of filmmakers like to act in stuff too. You know. So
We all become writers and directors eventually. That's what it is.
exactly, what are you drinking?
Kombucha.
Oh
Mango flavored. Mucho kombucha. It's very good.
yeah, well I got mine.
Your green. Okay, this time at least it's green. Last time your green juice wasn't even green, dude.
No, it was green. It's just like this one is like kale, spinach, and cucumbers. Then the next time it'll probably be like green apples.
Did you make those?
Yeah, just juice them up, drink them. They taste good.
Juice it, baby.
Yeah. So this film is
Yes.
another retelling of the
Did you do
eight
that on purpose? Are you
what?
just acquiring films that we can watch originals of?
No. I just wanted to see this because when I looked at Peacock, then I was like, oh, Wolfman, because I wanted to go
You
see
know,
the
it's crazy. I opened Peacock to watch, like, rewatch some old TV show, and I saw that, and I saw her in the trailer, and I was like, "Ooh, I should maybe suggest that to Bola." And then I was like, "Nah, he's not gonna like it." Then he
No,
suggested
no,
it.
no.
It's so funny.
I want to watch this because it's a modern day retelling of the Victorian era novel The Wolfman, and obviously we've told you who he stars and all that kind of stuff. It's
Hmm.
just a modern day retelling of it, but it's told in a from a different perspective. Our lead actor as a
Yeah.
child, he lives in the woods with his father in Oregon or something like that. And his father is like, you can tell his father's probably ex-military, very stern father, very militant father because he wakes his son up and at 100 hours, doesn't use the regular time, uses military time for him. And his
Yeah,
son
he
has got
was
to
messed
refer
up.
to
He
him.
had definitely like PTSD. They lost the wife somehow.
Yeah.
Like you can tell, like with very
And
few words, you could tell his entire history, kind of.
exactly. Just, you can tell the dad's everything about the dad in just the first 2, 3 minutes of the
That's
film.
Sam Yeager, by the way. I know him from the TV show Parenthood. I don't know if you've heard of that.
I think I've heard of it. I don't think I've seen it. I've not seen any episode or anything like
Very,
that.
very good actor. He's a decent
I gotta look
actor.
at his face again. When you say the name sounds familiar. I gotta look at his face properly. But anyway, in the beginning, they go out, and then obviously, when you're when you live in that kind of wilderness, you got to teach your children or your son how to hunt and how to
Hmm.
survive in that place because you're pretty much away from modern day living. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? You're
It's
living
too
in the
far to
woods.
go through the store. You got to grow and kill your own
Exactly.
food and
And so there's some couple of themes in this film. So but we'll get to that. They go into the forest and he's trying to teach him how to and he's trying to teach him like, listen, man, I'm not gonna be here all the time. You gotta man up. I'm not the reason why I'm being hard on you because this is a hard world and you've
hmm
got to learn how to survive on your own. And then at that moment they see a deer and they're trying to they're trying to shoot the deer and stuff like that. The deer runs off, but then the son runs off to try to hunt down the deer. That dad's
hmm
looking for him, and then the son spots the deer in some like creek or something, and he's like got him in his crosshairs, and as he's trying to shoot him, as he's trying to like, he just sees a very shadowy figure of a man, like a man just fall away, and he's like, "What the?" And then he comes back to it and doesn't see it again,
It's
and
gone.
that's when his dad comes to him, and his dad tells him like, "Yo, don't ever walk. You got to stay beside me and stuff like." And then I think they hear something, like a growl or something like that.
Hmm
That it doesn't sound. It sounds like an animal, but it doesn't sound naturally like an animal. It just
hmm
sounds very beastly. And I think they spot it. I think he momentarily spots it, but we don't see it again. So they run and then they run up to this tower, this hunt tower, this tower that from hunters they can stand up there. It's like with a ladder and
Like,
stuff
oh
like
yeah,
that,
so you have
and
an
to
overview and
overview and stuff like that. So and we hear the sound of of whatever it is, the beast lurking underneath, but we don't see the beast, and and the tension's building, like we're gonna see, but we never see it. So the next thing they cut us to when he and the son are back in the shed in their house, and that's when they tell us that he's talking to another guy. He's radioing the person and telling us that he saw the monster or something like that. Because in the beginning they told us that there's some kind of like some hunter had gone missing, and there's some kind of like a disease spreading or something like that to where they alluded it to like some Native American folklore of like the fist of the wolf or something like that, something like that. Um, so yeah, so we get introduced to the fact that okay, there's actually something out there, and he is determined to find it and kill it so they can protect his son and that other guy's son too.
hmm
So the story, fast forwards 20 years later, and the young boy now is now grown up, obviously, 20 years later, and he is living in San Francisco with his wife and his daughter. And we can see from the beginning that he's much closer to his daughter than the wife is.
And you can see what he's definitely, I think what they show almost immediately is that he was trying really, 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 really hard to break the cycle of how his father raised him.
Hmm.
Because his father was always yelling, always stressing, always all that. And he was like super gentle parent. And he like immediately, like he raises his voice one time because he get kind of worries about her. And he like immediately apologized 1,000 times. Like it's just like,
Have you found out that you now being a mother, that you're becoming like your mother?
yes, we all do.
Exactly.
And then you try not to. There's specific things you try not to do, and then there's specific things that you evidently will be doing the same way, and you're
I
stuck in a
don't
loop.
exactly. I don't have any kids, but when I was growing up, I was like, oh, I do not want to be like my dad because he was so strict and all that kind of stuff. But now that I've gotten older, I am beginning to emulate a lot of
You're
things that he did.
understanding, yes,
You
because
are now,
that's the thing.
yeah,
They
you
just have
understand
so
the
much more
parenting method.
knowledge,
Yeah,
and as kids, we don't get that our parents have so much more knowledge. Like all they're trying
exactly.
to do is protect us, and they always have our best interest at heart.
Exactly. So, and I think when you alluded to that, to the fact that you can see from the beginning, he's trying not to be like his dad, but then you have that
Because his
moment when she,
childhood, you can see his childhood sucked. Like he hated his
yeah,
childhood
yeah,
like that, you know?
yeah, he did,
That's why he's not.
I don't think he had much friends. I don't
I
think he
think
had
yeah.
probably went to a regular school, probably got
He
homeschooled,
never played.
never played it. All he did was just he lived in this Spartan military lifestyle that his dad just wanted him to
Survival
just
mode, yeah.
exactly survival mode all the time. So he wanted
Yeah.
to just once he had the opportunity to get away, he just got away from that place and never looked back. Didn't have
Yeah.
had little to no contact with the dad after that.
Yeah.
Um, trying to raise the daughter in a different way. But then the moment when she doesn't listen to him, he reverts to what his dad
Yep.
would have done.
Yep.
He screams
Exactly.
at her and
But
she
he catches
freezes.
himself. Yeah.
Yeah, he catches him. And once he sees her reaction to it, and then he starts to apologize, like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? So he reverts
Story
back
of
to
my
it.
life.
But then we also get a glimpse of, the relationship between him and his wife. And we see that she's working.
Hmm.
She's a writer and journalist and stuff like that, but she's working and he doesn't work. I don't,
Currently,
I
yeah.
didn't, I think they said he's a writer too,
He's a
but
writer and he wasn't working at the time. Yeah.
yeah, he wasn't working. So he's working on a book. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Every writer's working on a book and stuff like that. So I think there's a little bit of a tension between them. That's going to happen because if your wife is working and you as a man are now the woman in the house, that's
it creates situations. Yeah.
it's going to create a bad situation. I don't care what anybody says. It's always going to
Yep.
create some kind of situation. Um, yeah, as a man, you've just got to find a way to get a job. I don't care if it's pumping gas.
But he wasn't taught that, if you think about it, he wasn't taught that.
He wasn't
It's
taught
like
that.
a no job kind of situation when you're living out in the forest and you gotta hunt your own food, like.
Yeah. So, and he kind of looks very shabby. He doesn't look clean throughout that from
The
the beginning.
adult?
The guy, yeah, him. He doesn't look clean at all. He
Yeah,
just
because it
looks.
almost is like you don't have to, right? You would if you had a job. Like she's super like dressed up and
But I
everything,
think that's also alluding to the
groomed.
fact that when he is like he doesn't take care of his appearance. So when you live in that kind of wilderness, you don't care about your appearance. You just care that you can survive. We in the city care about our appearance because everything else are every
Everyone sees you when you go out. Like
exactly.
if it's only a deer that sees
And we
you.
have everything catered to us, you know what I'm saying? So we don't have to go hunt for our food. If electricity goes out in the wilderness, you just light a candle and stuff like that. If like electricity goes out here, we're complaining, we're calling the electric company like what's going on and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
it just seems like he's still not he doesn't it seems like to me he just seems he's not in the best he's out of place in the city.
Yes.
He's
Yes, he
out of
definitely
place.
felt out of place there.
Yeah, so it was out of place. So we get the little tension between him and his wife and stuff like that, and then we get a note that comes from Oregon that tells him
Hmm.
that well, his father has been missing for a long time.
Yeah, so they finally pronounce him dead.
After years of like nothing, they've searched and nothing, so he's now officially pronounced dead, and he now has to go back to Oregon to claim his property and close down the house where he grew up in and stuff like that. And
So who would be looking for him? The way he lived, who would notice that he's missing?
well, I mean, it's not like there's no society there. There's a society there. There are people there.
Felt like there isn't, didn't it?
Well,
The
I mean, there.
only person they run into is the son of that other guy,
I
right?
know, yeah, but you also have to look. Those places are well protected by some kind of like conservation society, some kind of what. Maybe he does
I
work for
figured it
them,
was just the other guy would keep radioing him and he's just not picking up.
and he would have reported it to the authorities, to the forest people and stuff like that. They would have,
Right.
they would have sent out a search party um many times, and then they'll be like, okay, well, we've gone this many times and we've never found him, so we're just gonna pronounce it. I just want to know how
Mhm.
long out they never told us how long he was missing. Went
Right.
missing until they pronounced him dead, officially dead. So he says
Probably
like,
has to be a couple of years by law.
yeah, I guess probably maybe. So he takes this as an opportunity to reconnect with his wife and his family because I think they hadn't um if they had stayed in that city, I think a divorce would have happened.
Yeah, felt like it.
I felt like that the divorce. I think she was getting to the point where she's just like, I'm done with
So
this
the
because
moment, and I have to say this, the moment that he tells his wife, okay, my father's finally pronounced dead, and he says it pretty casually, he doesn't say it in a way that he's also hurt that his father's dead. It was almost like he's already made peace with it. It's just funny to finally see it in writing, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
The moment he told her that reaction that she had, my thought was, wow. That's a really good reaction. Like, that's a good actress. That was a very, very good, genuine reaction to, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to say. Tears in her eyes. Great, right?
Mm. Yeah,
That is the face she had for the rest of the film.
she's always had that face in Ozark too, for the
She
most part.
is. Like, she's always like, yeah, okay, we'll get
That's
to
her.
that.
That's
You know,
probably
we'll
that's
get to
pretty much
it.
her face. But I think he uses this as a point. Where it shows first of all when his reaction is like he's like you said he's made peace with the fact that his father is dead, and it just also tells us that he's had little to no communication with his father.
Hmm.
Like he's not only physically away from his father, he's mentally, emotionally, and spiritually away from his father. So
Yeah.
he didn't. His reaction was just
But he
okay.
needs that closure because he needs to take care of the house and sell it or whatever. He needs to empty it out. And he needs that closure, I think, for him too.
Hmm.
It felt like it. It felt
You
like he
think
was like, I don't want to do this alone. I don't
I
want to
I didn't see it that way. I saw it as an opportunity to just
get away.
get away and reconnect with his wife. And he's already has a and she also needs this opportunity to reconnect with the daughter because there's no
Yeah, that's
relationship
right.
between her and the daughter. So she's like, you know what, I need a vacation. I'm losing my daughter, and she's a
Yeah,
lot.
there was not much of a relationship left there because it was
Exactly. So
almost
she
like she was just always at work.
so they just need to get away. And sometimes as people in the city, we need to get away from the city and go somewhere where it's quiet and quaint to reconnect with ourselves and reconnect with nature and stuff like
Yes, so
that.
generally good idea.
Generally good idea. Just make sure
I'll
it's
have
not
to
where
wait.
where there's not a wolf or a werewolf or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be very careful with that. But anyway, so they go on this journey. They take this is it like a pickup truck or an SUV or something like that?
U-Haul, right? I think they
A
rented
U-Haul,
a
yeah, it's a
U-Haul.
U-Haul, so he can pack up a lot of his dad's stuff and then close down the house and sell and bring everything to storage and stuff like that. But also, like we said, he's using this trip as a way to reconnect, get the family to reconnect with each other. And they get lost, and they're deep in the woods because there is no GPS, and
No service. They don't
no
have
service and
service.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. And
We're so
then,
used to having digital maps right now. I don't know people that would still read a regular one.
well, he had a regular map and he's looking at it, and then the daughter looks. This is the daughter, the wife looks to the side, and they see that what's it called?
The
The
tower?
hunting the hunting tower
Mhm.
for the hunters, and they see somebody there coming down, and it looks very scary that this might be a monster coming at them, but it happens to be a human being who was standing there as a hunter and stuff like that. And it so happens that the wife is getting scared. She's like driving away. He's like, no, because he's got a gun. It's like everybody here's got a gun. Like,
Exactly, funny
you know
city
what I'm saying?
girl.
It's almost like going to Texas and you'd be like, oh my God, that person's got a gun. But like everybody's got a gun in Texas. So what are you talking about?
Yeah, where we live, it's kind of mixed, right? But if you come from like even New York City and like, yeah,
Yeah, that's not normal. But for him, that was normal. So he didn't get too scared. He was just like he rolled down the window and talked to the guy, and he found out that that was the son of his dad's friend. I don't think they ever had a relationship. He and this guy, they probably just knew each other. Maybe they might have met
yeah, they
a
knew
couple of
of each
times.
other, right? More
Yeah,
so.
but the other guy looked a little creepy too. So anyway, he tells him he's lost, and they reintroduce themselves. Tells him he's lost, and you know get me back, try to help me back to my father's apartment or what house so I can do this thing. So gets into the truck and it just feels, I don't know. I would not have gotten that guy into the car. Not that I didn't trust him, but he's got a rifle. He's not somebody that you really
Yeah,
know.
but he grew up this way. He grew up this way and he knew who he was. Like it was the only other family they had, I think. So
But to
even
have
if
your
they,
but to have your wife and kid there,
right?
I would be thinking about their
Different, I know.
safety. Yeah. And plus you didn't come there with no weapon. Especially you
No,
came
the
from Japan,
dad has them at the house, but you got to get
but
to the house first.
no, you should have brought some from San Francisco, bought a gun or something like that, something.
I
Bow
bet
and
he doesn't
arrows.
even know how to get one.
Well, come on now, you can get one. This is America. You can get one. You can get one.
You're talking about the guy that doesn't fit into the city. He didn't
Well,
get
you can get one. You can go get one.
one.
You know what I'm saying? But anyway, so they're driving along this path and it's getting dark. And there's a little bit of a, they're having a conversation with this guy. It's kind of weird. Seems a little creepy and stuff like that with the way he's having the conversation with the wife and the daughter in the back. It creeps me out because I'm just like, I can tell, it's really creepy. And then all of a sudden, within a flash, we see someone standing in the street on the way, and then he swerves, and then they go off, and they get stuck on a tree or something like that. I don't know what.
Yeah, that was crazy how they
That
got
was
stuck.
crazy how they happened, but and so the thing just what they saw on the street happened so quickly that you saw it was a man, but at the same time, you're like, was that really a man or some kind of monster or some kind of beast or something? It was standing like a
Animal
man.
with clothes on.
Yeah, so it had clothes on, exactly. So, but you can hear the growl, once they were trying to get out, because the other guy had already fallen to the ground, all the way to the
He
ground.
let himself out of the
Yeah,
car.
he
Yeah.
let himself out. Yeah, and he falls to the ground, and obviously he probably broke a leg or something. He's trying to regroup himself. The wife and the daughter have already climbed out on the back, and then you can hear the growl of the monster, and it's I don't know when he scratched him because I think he
Because
was
he
trying to
was trying to close the door
door, and then the
so he
window,
can get out, and so
yeah,
his arm was out or something like
so his
that.
arm is out, so the thing scratched him, but then the thing went down there and started grabbing the other guy on the
Yeah.
ground and killed him and stuff like that. So I think they got a glimpse of what that thing was. They saw it. We didn't see. We haven't seen it yet. They've seen it. So now they're running. They've gotten out of the car, and now they're running because he's like, okay, I know where we are now. The house is just right down the street, and they're running. And this is good filmmaking right here. We still don't see the monster or whatever
Hmm.
is chasing them, but the way the camera is moving, you can tell it's right behind them. And
Yeah.
when it cuts to the other view, you still can't see it, but they're still running like, oh my God, run, 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 run to the door.
Hmm.
And you can feel the tension that this thing is right behind them. They
Yeah.
managed to get into the house and they locked the door. And then that's when the thing banged on the door, like boom. You know what I'm saying? So that scared me. I was like, oh my God, what is this? Like, what does it look like? And they took their time not to but he starts to barricade the doors and stuff like that. Everybody's scared. And
He's
then
trying to
that,
find a
he's
light
trying to
switch.
he turned the light, it goes to the generator and stuff like that. And he's trying to find a gun or something like that. I think he's trying to find a weapon or something. But then we start to see that he's gotten scratched and he's beginning to this, and he's got infected by this
Mhm.
thing, and now the effects of it are starting to slowly,
That is when I was like, holy shit, this is really well done.
yeah,
It was like going from the extremely loud footsteps that he hears that turn out to be a spider, and
a
he just
spider,
you
like yeah,
hear
he's
the
like because I'm just
stench.
like, what is that? And he's
And then the vertigo, like when he starts like and the entire room behind him starts spinning, like it was just such amazing camera work. Like the cinematography was so
yeah.
cool.
The other thing I liked about it was that we're seeing things from his point of view because the daughter's talking to him and he's like,
He's not understanding her.
he's not understanding
So
it.
So that was crazy. That took me a little while to understand the concept. For there was a little moment where it was just they were just being weird. She
Hmm.
stood there, she's like, "You're being weird." He stood there, he's like, "You're being weird. Why are you just standing there?" And it didn't occur to me until after that he lost like understanding and he can't speak anymore and she doesn't understand what he's saying and he can't understand human people anymore. It was crazy. It was like that transition was like
And the color change
weird.
is the color of his view
Oh
changed.
my gosh, that was yeah,
Yes.
that was awesome, especially at the very very end when they do that again when they're like chasing each other in that barn where they kind of like do this like circle through the entire barn and you just kind of on one side see it human then on the other side see it from his vision,
Vision.
from his
That
perspective
was
and
so
it's kind of
brilliant.
oh my
But
gosh, that looked so cool.
he's getting sick. He's getting sick. He's getting sick. And now he's beginning. But and then also we can hear the whatever the beast is outside. We can hear it
Right,
outside.
that's not gone yet. That's
That's
still
not
trying to
gone.
attack
It
them.
goes quiet, but then you start to hear something. I want to. When does he start to eat his own hand? Was it before they went to the car or after? They try to get into the truck. I can't remember.
I think before it was really weird because um she bandages the arm up or something, right? We're
Yeah,
thinking
but
it can help, but it's starting to bleed again and it's like oozing and everything, and he's trying to like chew it up, like
yeah,
gnaw on it.
so he's becoming like an animal.
Hmm.
He's his human side of him is still aware of what's going on. He still knows that's his
Yeah,
wife,
that was
and that's his
freaky. And that would
yeah,
like
that was very freaky. And you
that's like
never seen
almost like you could say this is how they're telling like dementia, for example, like when it starts to deteriorate and you start to remember things every so often you don't remember things. You don't remember how you got here or who these people are, and 5 minutes later that's obviously your kid, and you like it's got to be like that, being trapped in your own brain somehow and not
well,
being able to like
do you also think it's also that's right. I agree with you. Do you also think it's also where the anger, where the aggression of a man is slowly taken over?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And he's aware this is his wife and kid, but he's slowly becoming he's the anger is taking over
Mhm.
slowly. And I'm talking more like domestic violence now, where the man, you have husbands who put their hands on their wives and their kids on, like that. It's a slow process. And
Yeah. And
this was
then
a
it's
slow
kind of like a loss of control thing, maybe a
exactly. And
little
he's
bit of
slowly, but
yourself.
he's still aware of that he's losing control, but he's still aware of what because when he starts to eat his hand, you know what I'm saying? I mean, she's standing there watching him chew his own hand,
And again, she's just same
and
face
she's
the
just
whole
standing
whole
there. Now,
time. I'm
that part
just
I didn't believe because I would have ran the fuck away. If I would have
there was a
ran,
couple of situations where I was like, really? You're just
yeah,
gonna
you
be
just gonna
having the
stand
same
there?
face and
She
that's
just
it?
stood there like, and she's watching this man, like whoever's watching this, he's literally like eating
Yeah.
his own hand. You know what I'm saying? And she's
Yeah.
standing there like watching her husband do it, like,
Yeah, she was
and
useless.
doesn't
She's so
run.
useless. That was like my only con in this whole thing. He carried the whole film while she's just like same face throughout the whole time
I
and just
couldn't
like
believe that she just
useless.
stood there. I would have like, but then when he realized that she's
She
watching him, I
would
think
have at least screamed. I, for one, would have probably tried to take his arm away from him and be like, stop fucking doing that.
no, I think I would have killed him. I would have
Oh,
gunned him
really?
knife. I would have
He's
gunned him
dead.
knife like at that moment I'd be like, okay, that is not who I married. And I'm killing. And that's it.
Damn,
I'm
he
like,
will
nah,
not eat your arm.
yeah.
No,
I'm like, yeah, this
okay,
is
you've
not
seen too many movies. I think for her, the whole idea is, oh, he's probably sick. And at some point, it does feel a little bit like her awareness is changing and her awareness is switching to, okay, he's gone. He's a goner. Because there's a time where she's like like she finally gets a hold of someone and she's like, my husband, he's sick. Oh my God, and she's like, I can help you. And then there's this moment where she's like, yeah, I can't help you anymore. Like, this is not,
so when he realizes that he's been chewing his own arm, he pauses and he's the human back, he's back to his human thought, and he just like feels embarrassed and he walks away. And she's just watching him walk away. And I'm just like,
yes,
what are you doing?
what?
Like, and though, so she's like, okay, she stands at the door, like, everything's fine. Dad is just sick. So now they're trying to so they don't hear the monster anymore or whatever is out there. So they're like, okay, let's try to make it to the truck. So she gets, so they get out, make it to the truck, they get the battery, start the car and stuff like that. And but they're about to drive, and then the creature jumps on the car, and his hands are.
And I think she was already considering, is she taking him with her
I
into the
would have left
car?
him there. But
Right?
I would have. But
There
the
was
daughter's like,
already the moment where I was like, you
yeah,
don't want him
because
with you in the car.
I'm thinking if they're driving, that's when he turns into the wolf, and he's coming
Exactly,
to attack the kid
exactly.
and the wife. But so the original Wolfman comes out, and he's like trying to grind into the car. So they make it into the little garden, the little makeshift garden that they have, the little planetarium or what they call that thing.
The greenhouse?
Greenhouse. They make it to
Planetarium.
I'm talking
Okay, Bella.
planetarium. Planetarium.
I think you
So they make it to,
Plantarium.
yeah, planetarium. So they get to the greenhouse, but they get on top of they get on the roof. and the creature is like inside, and he's like it's like made of plastic or something like that, and he's ripping through
Yeah.
the thing. So do they fall inside? They don't fall inside, but the dad tries to like he realizes that okay, he's still in his human, he's still
He wants
conscious
to
as a
protect his family, and
protect his
he's,
family.
I
So
think, thinking I'm the strongest. Like I am most close to his strength.
yeah, so I'm gonna lure the beast away while my family
Hmm.
gets back into the house. So he
Hmm.
does that, and I'm thinking, oh, he's a goner now. But the family gets back into the house, and the daughter's blaming the mom, like, "You left that out there. You left that." And he's like, "No,
Yeah.
Dad is protecting us. Like, calm down." But then we don't hear the growling anymore, so we're thinking, like, okay, is the dad dead or is the beast dead? But
Yeah.
then
And
there's
she
a
wants to know.
yeah, and then there's a strange knock on the. It was it a knock on the door or something like that? Did he knock on the door?
It kind of felt like it.
Then she opens, then and she has a moment where there's like a little net door, and she's looking and she's debating, should I let him in? Because it's now the husband that's standing there. And
Exactly.
and then
You
the
don't
the
know.
darkness that they have there, it makes it look so scary because I'm like, do not open the door for that motherfucker. Please do not open the door. Do not
Do
open
you
the door.
talk through movies like that? Do you like
Yeah.
yell at the
And then
TV?
she opened the door. He's just standing there like some zombie. He just walks in bleeding. And I'm like, what the fuck is going? And she's still standing there with a face like,
Yes. Oh my gosh. There's so many infuriating moments where I was like, come on, you need to do
do
something.
something. So
Exist.
he walks in, and then well, at one point did the monster now come into the house.
Then
Then is when
he like, right? He just like
I
pushes
think
past him, I think.
remember there was a part where he grabbed the dad's leg and scratches him more
That
the
was before, I
that
thought.
was before they cut outside.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Well,
But
anyway,
yeah, so he gets in
the wolf gets in,
and
and
he
now
gets bested.
we see the wolf. Um, he's got clothes on, but he's a wolf, and
But in
he
this whole time, what's his face's face, hands, everything's been changing.
yes, the dad
The
the
claws start coming out,
exactly.
the
His teeth have been
hair starts
falling off,
growing,
the
the teeth,
hair is
the
falling off.
jaws changing, and that
He's
was
got
insane, by the
fangs,
way.
everything. He's beginning to form, and he's changing into a wolf. But he's still conscious of the fact that
Yeah.
he is
So I think like the brain is probably like slowly dying, but like the consciousness is still there. That's
still
insane.
there. And then the monster gets into the house, and the monster is a full-fledged werewolf. And now it's almost like a man standing there like a wolf, and they're both fighting, and he's trying to protect his daughter and his wife. And there's a moment there where the wolf overpowers the husband, and he's going after the wife, and the wife has like a knife or something like that, and she's cutting it and stuff. And he's just about to pounce on her. The husband comes and kills him, and then we see uh
Tattoo.
the tattoo, and we know that that's his dad.
That
His
was his,
dad is
and he
actually
realizes it.
yes,
That's the craziest part. He realizes it.
and I think that is the moment, and symbolically, that is the moment he realizes that he's becoming his father.
Hmm.
Remember when I just said that
Yeah.
as you get older, you start to do things that your parents did, even though
You
you
can
didn't like,
fight as hard as you can, you end up becoming
and
just like your
he's
parents.
trying and I think the wolf thing is a symbolism for aggression, for your propensity for violence, and he wants
Hmm.
to get away from that. But
But he went
now
back home
he
and
went
yeah,
back home, and now he's physically he went back, but
yeah.
mentally, and spiritually, and emotionally, he's becoming that by being this wolf. And he killed
Hmm.
the father to now become what his father is becoming. And then at
Yeah,
that moment
that's
is
an
when,
interesting take on it. That's cool.
yeah, he leaves. And so once he kills the father, he walks out of the house, and then that's when he changes into be a full-fledged wolf. Now
Completely.
he's coming back to attack his wife and the daughter. And I like when they ran into the barn, and that's when you talked about he's
That
not
was
that
amazing.
was brilliant because the whole place is dark,
Yeah.
and then they
But it goes
switch
from color to black and white somehow anyway, that
exactly.
was
So
crazy.
he's looking at them. He can see them in the dark. They can't see him in the dark, but they've already set a trap for him because they have like
Hmm.
the
The bear
little
traps.
the bear trap thing on the floor. He doesn't see it, and then they have the little flashlight. So as soon as he just it hits the bear trap and it claws on him, she flashes the thing into his eye, so he's kind of blind, and then she just they run off and stuff like that, and he's caught in the bear trap and he can't move.
Hmm.
Now they're gone. They're running straight into the forest and just going,
Hmm.
and he's already caught in the bear trap.
And the
Ladies
other
and
one is
gentlemen,
dead, so
this motherfucking wolf eats his own leg off,
yep.
chews it off to get free. I'm like, what is going on
This
here?
is a freaking zombie.
Yeah, I've never seen that in a wolf man. Maybe is that what
I've
wolves
never
do?
seen a wolf do it either.
I'm just want to know, is that something a wolf would do? Like they would
I have no
chew.
idea. I didn't think so. I didn't
Well,
think so. But at some point you try anything to get to food. But that would be like when you're hungry enough, you know what I mean? They would struggle for a while until they get so weak and so hungry that they get rage hunger.
and then they
And
chew up
then
their
they
own.
will maybe, yeah, maybe.
Well, he
Oh.
he got rage hunger at that moment. He chewed up his own leg.
It was a little fast, but
Yeah,
yeah.
he chewed it up quickly, and then he starts crawling. But he crawls fast at first
That's what I'm
because
saying. It reminds me of zombies.
he can't stand on his 2 feet now. He only has one leg, so he's crawling so fast towards them. But anyway, they get into the forest and they get back to the spot of where the accident happened, and then they find the dead body of the friend, but his body's been chopped up to limbs and stuff like that. The
Yep.
original wolf dad. So they find his gun, and then they see the um the hunting tower, and so they run up the hunting to the tower to wait, to try to hide. But he finds them he sees them running up there, and so he goes after them. But he doesn't he doesn't attack them immediately. Why doesn't he attack them immediately?
You don't think
He's
there's still something left there,
he's still
like for a
conscious.
second? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's still
Even
conscious
even
that
almost kind of like I think the consciousness has faded completely, but you still have deja vu. You know what I mean? Like that,
that he was there with his dad.
wait a minute,
Mm,
like
I
something
remember this.
something's familiar, and then
Yeah.
bam.
And then, and then the daughter said something because I think the wife is waiting for him to attack. And then he says, the daughter says, he wants it to be over.
Oh, right, because there's that whole aspect where he taught his daughter that she can read minds, and she will put her hand on his forehead and
Hmm.
say, and I know what you're thinking right now. You're thinking, I love my little girl or whatever. And so at the very end, she puts her hand on his forehead and says, I think he wants it to be over.
Yeah, I want to, and so he
That was
just,
actually very cool. I
yeah,
thought that was cool.
yeah. And then and as soon as he pounces at them, she shoots him.
Yeah, that's like
And
like yeah, reflex there.
yeah, it was like, yeah, it was that quick. And then they get down from the tower and they just watch him take his last breath, and he dies. And then he had told them about a view in the beginning. There was a
Hmm.
view that he had with his father, and the daughter's father told him this is a very beautiful view. Like there's nothing like this in the world. And he told them that when we go for this trip, I'm going to show you this view. Then when you see it, you will know it. That it's the most beautiful view
Hmm.
out there. And he's dead now, but then they're
They're
walking, and then
walking away into
they
the
see the view, and I'm like, okay. So I'm guessing what happens now? They go back to the city and be like, well,
how are they gonna walk to the city? Like,
I don't know
is
how
there
they
any
I don't
more
know how they're
wolf
gonna get
men?
back. I don't know how they're gonna get back. But anyway, so I just
Where
think
are
the
the
whole
wolf women?
I don't know. I don't know. But I think I think this movie it symbolizes how parents raise their kids, how kids try to veer off, especially if the teaching of the kids is very hard.
Yeah, try not to
Especially
pick up the same traits,
and
think
then
that other ways are better, that there is other ways that are better, but they oftentimes kind of fall back into
you fall
realizing
back.
that your parents were right anyway.
Like I said, you have kids, and you said there's some things that you are noticing that, oh my God, this is what my mom used to do. I'm
Mhm.
reverting back to my mom. I don't have any kids, but there are certain things that my dad did, even just being a regular guy, that I'm
Yeah.
beginning to
And we thought they
exhibit.
were irritating because we didn't understand. And they
Yeah.
just had more knowledge. They had more experience. And now we have that knowledge. We have that experience. We have the same fucking problems. And now we get it, you know? It's
But
like,
is it also that um forget about the fact that you're is it that you're older, is it also to the fact that this is how they groomed you, and you can't, you're gonna revert back to it no matter
It's
what?
called childhood trauma, and yes, we all have it. Yeah, no, there's definitely because you, as a child, I mean, you grow up learning that a specific level of things is normal.
Hmm.
Same with like when you're saying aggression. He's learned that a specific level of aggression, level of anger, that's the baseline. That's normal because that's all you've known.
Hmm.
And unless you learn to heal, you know you can break that cycle and you think, oh, well, I have children, I'm not going to do it this way because I don't want my children to feel the way I did.
Hmm.
Probably there's some like even just genetically, like it's there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So it'll
So
try to catch you, even if you're trying not to let it.
yeah, it's almost, I was, when you were saying that, I was just thinking of the Bible passage when it says, train your child in the ways of the Lord and they'll never depart from it. It's almost like when your kids, when your parents took you to church all the time, and as you got older, you just like you didn't want to be anything part of the church. But as you got older, and you be like, you start to revert back to it, like hey,
Because the values are there. You've
the
been taught
values are there.
values. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. So that's one part of the film. Trying to escape what your parents have been trying to teach you, but then as you got older, you start to revert back to it.
Also,
And
does
this,
it feel a little bit, I'm sorry, does it feel a little bit like his whole life he tried to escape fate? Because that wolf man tried to get him when he was a little boy back then.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? And then
yeah, it's
he
true.
like comes back for him
He
almost.
comes, yeah, and it's his dad that comes back for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Um, I also, although when what we're talking about in terms of reverting back to what your parents taught you, we're talking more about the positive
Hmm.
things, attributes. This in this movie, it was the negative, the
Right.
aggression, the propensity for violence and stuff like that. And that's also part of some things that people can learn as a child,
Yeah.
especially if some guy watches his dad beat up his mom and stuff like that. Sometimes you learn some boys will learn that and they take that moving forward. So so in this movie, the trait he's reverting back to is the propensity for violence and aggression, and I think they use that the wolf using that as a wolf was a good analogy for it. Um, I also think it also
Yeah,
talks about
especially
the
losing
connection
control.
between the mom and the daughter.
I think, I don't know. I think it's more prominent. It's more prominent when you see the mother working all the time and the mother not being there and not having that nurturing instinct because she doesn't. She felt like she didn't have that nurturing motherly instinct at all because she was all business. For a little girl, I think a mother is very important, just like for a little boy, a father is very important.
Hmm.
Both are important always, but you know what I mean. There's something where I feel like a child and a little girl will feel on like subconscious grief if the mother isn't there, more so than when the father is at work.
So
I don't know why.
okay,
But I
uh,
I mean, in every other family, the father is at work all the time,
mhm,
and the mother's home and takes care of the kid, and then the father comes home and he's still on the phone and he's still working. It's normal. And my kids, for example, like they are like all over dad the second he's home because finally he's home, right?
mhm,
They're not mad about it that he's at work all the time, but he works very, very hard to have a connection with them when he's home. He
mhm.
does that actively. He pursues it every second he gets. Not every dad does. Most dads back when I was little didn't.
Yeah,
So,
trust me.
I think it's more prominent when the mother is missing just because of what we're trained, what
Mhm,
the norm is. Again, just like when you're saying the dad's staying home, that's going to create problems because he's not the breadwinner. He feels inadequate. She feels like she's got to pick up after him. It's a whole thing. Yeah, the
yeah,
dynamic changes, and that's kind of hard. And the
and
daughter picks up on it.
also, even though the mom is the one working, it also highlights the fact that you do need family time. You do need to create
Yeah.
family time with your husband or your wife and your children because remember now, she comes home to work and she has no connection to the daughter. She's literally watching the dad and the daughter are they have more connection and she has no connection.
Yeah.
Do you know? Let's reverse this. What if the husband had left the wife in the car and he had gotten the daughter back into the house? You think she would have said, "You left mom out there"? No, he was just like she would just be like, "I'm happy that you're with me, dad." You remember that when she said
Yeah.
that you left dad out there because she was more concerned about the dad than her. She has no connection to the mom.
Hmm.
If that had been a reverse, I
Dad
don't
was
think
the
she.
best friend. Yeah.
Yeah, she would never have thought about, oh, dad, you left mom out there. It probably, not that she doesn't love her mom. She just doesn't have any connection
No,
with her.
you don't think she would go, what about mom? Like,
I mean, she would have
not
probably
if
said, what
she was
about,
evil, not if she was evil and had already eaten her arm.
but remember the daughter never saw the dad do that. She just
Oh,
said
that's
that.
right.
She
That's
just
right.
know that dad is sick.
Yeah.
That's all she just knows dad is sick. Dad is just acting weird and stuff like that. So she kind of shielded all of that from the daughter and stuff like that. So I think this period was the moment for her to connect with the daughter, and she did connect with the daughter.
Yeah.
By protecting her and saving her.
Yeah.
So
And
this
that
was it.
motherly instinct kicked in.
It kicked in. So now she has a story to tell for her novel.
Yeah.
That's a story.
Touche.
Touche. Yeah.
Autobiography.
Oh yeah. No, nobody will believe this story.
I was gonna say,
Nobody will believe.
I lost my husband in the mountains to a
Yeah, and I
wolf.
killed him because he's a wolf. They're like, yo, get the doctor, get the police. This chick is
Yeah.
crazy. Like, so what would you give this movie?
Um, I liked most aspects about it. It is not like it's not a film where I would be like, "Ooh, I want me to watch some werewolf movies." Like it's not
No,
really,
no.
but it was very good. I thought some of the best cinematography ideas of like, symbolism
When it
and
can't,
like
yeah, from the
yeah,
perspective of the wolf to the
yeah,
human,
just
yeah.
everything that is out of the perspective of you watching that wolf turn. That's new to me. Like that's a
Mhm.
really, really great idea. So I did really like it. She really disappointed me. Like she was just so bland. Like she was the same the whole time. And I he really carried the whole film. Like it was him. It
Mhm.
was pretty much just the Wolfman. So, I think I want to give it a
A
six
what?
or seven. Seven, probably.
A seven?
I think so.
I
I
was
think
gonna
so.
give
I
it.
really liked it.
I was gonna give it a six.
Yeah.
A six. The
We
only reason
always
why
alternate on that one. We can never.
I'm giving it a six is because I just still like the original version of the Wolfman story. The one that Benicio del Toro, Anthony Hopkins, and Emily Blunt played. I think that's the original story. I prefer that one. This one was still good. There was a lot of symbolism as we brought out.
Yeah, it was
Um,
hard to watch all the changes, I have to say. Like that's probably a pro rather than a con that the special effects are getting so good that I literally had to look away because like I can't when teeth are just randomly coming out of your face, like that shouldn't be happening. And like
really, I
the
thought you would
claws,
like
like
stuff
I'm
like
like,
that. I thought
no.
you would like stuff like that.
No, I don't really love and enjoy gross stuff. I just like
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'll give it a
again, I
six.
appreciate the special effects being this good, but
It was pretty good. It was pretty
And
good. I like the growl, the growl of the wolf and stuff like that. That was very, very
generally, the
scary.
fact that this like really, really scary creature was almost invisible until the end. And
Yeah,
that might also be very symbolic because what you're saying is literally like cancer, like it's invisible the whole time. It's been following you around, it's been growing inside your body until you suddenly go cuckoo because it's there. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like the
yeah,
virus, the sickness thing.
yeah. And it's also
Um,
like I think the strategy is kind of like the same thing from it's the person who originated that strategy was Steven Spielberg with Jaws. You know what I'm saying? We never see the shark until the end. Until
we
that
know it's coming.
we know it's coming, but we just like what is this that's attacking people and stuff like that. Now he didn't do that on purpose. It wasn't that he did that on purpose. It was because the shark wasn't working all the time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he had to just rely on the camera. So I think everyone has used that strategy to like, let's not reveal the monster yet. Let's just build the monster up and stuff like that until you reveal it. So that was great that they did that because that
Yeah.
that run, that first time they ran to the house, and the way the camera was going behind them, you
You felt
felt, I
that
was
tickle
like,
that it's
oh,
like about to get you.
I thought, I was like, oh my God, like, what the fuck is
And
this?
too that like it's just there's so many horror films out there. There's so many ideas of like what is scary. You have it a clown face, is it like black hair, black eye, whatever. Like all these like super scary things. And now look at this. Like this wasn't like the look of it wasn't all that scary, but the film was a lot more threatening feeling. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
you don't have
yes.
to go all crazy with like monster looking things. I feel like is kind of even more effective.
I talked to a friend of mine. He's from when we went to high school in Nigeria, but he lives in New York. He's always been a horror fan. And I did a Zoom video with him talking about him about horror stuff. I should send you the link to watch it. And we talked about like, you know, a lot of these horror films need to go back to the way things were done like in the 70s and 80s when things were really scary. I think with special effects they've just gone so they've they've overdone it now that
Yeah,
it
we've
doesn't.
seen it all. We don't believe anything anymore.
Yeah,
It's kind of
it's
like, yeah,
yeah. So sometimes you just got to do
desensitizing.
this. You just got to do the simplest things now, and it'll probably scare people.
Honestly, to me, the old movies are much scarier because of their graphics alone. Like it's just so much more creepy.
I think the to me the reason why they were scary back then was because they held a lot of things back.
Yeah,
They in subtle ways reveal things to you, unlike now where they just throw everything at you, special
yeah.
effects, blood, this and that. You just be like, okay, this shit is not
You
scary.
become
Like,
desensitized. That's what I'm saying. We've
yeah,
all
because
become
exactly.
desensitized. We've seen all the blood in the world. We've seen heads
Yeah,
roll and eyes out of the sockets. Like, yeah.
and they're making it bigger. The blood is getting more bloody. The eye popping is getting bigger, and it's just like it becomes cartoonish nowadays. But when
And
you
that's what I'm saying. Exactly. It's no
yeah,
longer scary because it's too much. It's too exaggerated. It's too unrealistic. Yeah.
exactly. So
Even though while within the realism being more realistic.
if you take it back to the way it was done in the 80s, in the 70s and the 80s, and instead of okay, you have the technology to make things a little realistic, fine,
But let
but
these people's imagination scare you, you know?
exactly. So, like I
Yeah.
said, without showing us the monster, let us create that
Let
monster.
us create the
Let
monster.
us create this
Exactly.
monster because Jaws, like I said with Jaws, that very first shot when she's in the beginning, when she's in the water, and you can see the point of view of the shark looking up at her, and then and then the shark starts pulling, and she's screaming, ah! You're like, what the fuck is that? What is the first time you watched it? You're like, what is that? Is that a shark or what's some kind of sea monster? But then it's a
Yeah.
shark, what I'm saying? And that he slowly builds that up to you to where you finally meet the shark. And you be like, oh, look at that big ass thing. That's what's been
Yeah.
killing everybody. Same thing with the wolf too. Slowly they start to show you, you've seen the dad change and stuff like that, and then eventually you now see the other wolf that has been chasing them, and you be like, oh wow, this is crazy. So I think
Does the
in
wolf
some
only turn at full moon?
they never introduced the moon aspect of it.
Yeah, right?
They
I was just
never
thinking
did.
about it because I see the moon
I
above
see the
you right
moon right
there, and
there,
I was
but
just like, hmm.
I didn't even think about it because now that you mentioned, they never introduced the
They
moon.
didn't, but because I was just thinking about like that's the werewolf stories that they turn
It's the
back,
full moon.
right?
Yeah,
They
yeah. It's the story. The moon has always been part of the wolfman story. So they never introduced that in there. It's kind of like when you eventually watch Sinners. It's kind of like obviously it's a vampire stuff, but it's kind of like the way they took that away in Twilight. You know what I'm
we
saying?
started on Twilight.
No, I swear I talked to Trey about it because Trey and I was like, because we all watched True Blood, you know what I'm saying? And True Blood is a true essence of the vampire story. But Twilight took it away and went into making more acceptable for younger kids and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it kind of diverted away from the vampire lore. Sinners brought it back a little bit, like reminded you, like, hey, don't forget now, this is why vampires do this and do that. So it brought it back a little bit. So You got to go watch Sinners. You've got to go. I'm thinking of
I
going back to
know,
watch
and
it
I will.
tomorrow.
I will as soon as I can. I mean, I just like these next 2 weeks are impossible for me right now, and I
Oh man,
have to get a babysitter. If you want to babysit,
I honestly, I said that the other day. I was like, what if I babysit and then her and her husband can go watch the movie?
my kids would literally kill you.
Oh no, they've never met me. Trust me, I'll be walking in there with a stone face, like, hey, sit down. They'll be like this. And then when you go home, you'd be like, Bola, my God, this whole place is clean. How did you manage it? Ah, we just manage it. And then you
Stop.
look
Now I
at
really want you as a babysitter.
and then you look at the
Wash
tape,
my
you'd be
kids
like,
and clean my house. Damn.
I put the kids to work. You clean. You
You're the mom. You're
yeah.
the
All right. So what's the film for next week? You gotta
Okay, so
come
I just started looking it up and I did find something that's also pretty new that looks I haven't seen the trailer or anything, but it's got Woody Harrelson. It's called Last Breath. It's a thriller.
last breath. Let me see. Where's it at? On
Peacock.
Netflix?
Peacock.
Peacock.
A true story of seasoned deep sea divers who battle
Oh,
the raging elements to rescue a crewmate trapped hundreds of feet below the ocean
yeah.
surface.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We should watch that.
That could be
You-
interesting.
Yeah. I've seen the trailer a couple of times. I just never had the time to watch it. You should watch that. Yeah. That's a good choice. Good choice. Look at you. Great choice. You did that on the fly. I'm proud of you.
I had to see what's available for me to see
Nah,
within this
that's a
week.
good. Yeah, it's a good. It looks like a good movie. I really want to watch it. So
I think I'm gonna struggle with it because I'm one of those people like I'm an empath if it comes to actors being underwater. When they're underwater, I stop breathing too, and I'm just like
you do know it's a like a war. It's a controlled environment, right? That they're not really drowning.
I'm telling you, this was even like one of the thoughts. So as a kid, right? I always knew since I was a little girl that I wanted to be an actress. And so I had these crazy thoughts that I'm now thinking is insane for a 6 or 7 year old to think. But I would like watch, for example, people jump in the water and do like a diving scene, and I would sit there and be like, I'm not a very good swimmer. That's gonna be a problem.
Oh no no no!
You know?
When I was thinking of being an actor, I would think when I see fight scenes, I'll think they're really fighting. So I will have to go learn how to. So I had to tell
I
my
don't
mom
want to get hurt.
I didn't want to. So no, I said I have to go learn how to fight because I'm watching all these fight scenes and people are getting their ass kicked. So I'm like, listen, if I'm going to be the star, I've got to be able to kick people's ass. So I want to go learn Taekwondo and Kung Fu and stuff. 'Cause I thought the fights were real. So
Right.
yeah,
Right. And you do kind of need to know the basics of that stuff in order to, still
to make
evade
it look
the
realistic, yeah, yeah.
right.
But I thought they were punching each other for real, like
That's
really.
funny.
So when I saw blood, I was like, oh my God, he's bleeding. Is he all right?
Picturing cute tiny Bola. Oh, did I ever tell you that because I did that commercial for a Comic Con one time where I'm Supergirl, right? And I'm landing and I'm starting and the way
Oh,
they
for
they
real?
just cut it. They
Yeah.
just cut it to where of course I'm like jumping and I'm landing, right? Do superhero landing. And then at the end I'm like, okay, bye. And I'm like jumping up. And then they cut it to where it just kind of dust flies and it looks like I'm flying off. My kids till this day are like, why won't you show us how you fly? It's so cute.
Well, you need to
They're
show them.
convinced. I think my 6 year old now kind of gets it, but like they were convinced for at least a year and a half that I could fly and I just wouldn't show them how.
What you know what? Show them how to fly. Why are you being like that? Come on now. Show them how to fly. Just go put on the cape and just fly. Just do it.
But this is why I'm telling you don't bring your child to a horror film in which you are getting decapitated. Like that's gotta be so traumatizing for your
That
child.
actually there was a play I did a long time ago, and this woman had her son there with the husband and the daughter and stuff like this. And I don't know what happened to her. I think she got cut into two or something like that. Something like that. We alluded to it or some that she died or something. And the kid started crying. And
Yes,
he started crying. And it wasn't until the end we're like, no, mom is alive. Like, look at your mom. She's
that's
alive.
very convincing.
He
That's a
he
good
was like,
play.
he was crying like mom. That had to take him out the theater to calm him down and stuff like that. He thought his mom had died, and then like the mom was like, "No, I'm alive. I'm right here. I'm right here." So yeah, that's cool. But anyway, that's it for this episode, guys. The Wolf Man. If you haven't seen it, it's on Peacock. Check it out. And if you've seen it, then join us in the
It was
comment section.
definitely worth looking at. Like
Yeah,
there's it's
it's
visually it
pretty
was
good.
very, very, very
You need to
cool.
watch it. If you haven't seen it, you need to go watch it. Let us know what you think about the movie in the comment section. Let us know what you think about our how we unboxed it. If you agree, not don't agree, let us know in the comment section. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to like the video
Yes,
and
like,
share the links.
comment, suggest new films.
Exactly. And for next week, we are watching, what is the name of the movie
Last
again?
Breath.
Last
Right?
Breath, starring Woody Harrelson.
Hmm.
So it's on Peacock. So please go check it out so you can be ready for us next week. And one of these days, we're going to do a live show. Well, no, no. Before we do a live show, we're probably going to invite other people to join us in
Yeah,
unboxing.
that would be interesting.
Yeah. So we'll
Let's
probably
do
start
it.
with like people that we know and stuff like that. That's why I wanted you to watch Sinners so that we can get everybody together. But, we'll see. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.